Hey everybody, this is Rich and you're with South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. I had a little unexpected change to my afternoon plans today. I had an electrician at the house doing some work outside, and he suddenly said, "I hear a roaring." And I went, "Oh no," and I spun on my heel, and sure enough, hive number one was in the air. And well, everything, the rest of it is just grab the camera and do some swarm catching. You'll see what I'm talking about.
So,
Well, but they're not going here. I think this is already occupied.
hive one is swarming.
Hive 1 did not wait for them to cap the queen cells. I checked Hive 1 yesterday. They have one frame that has like 7 queen cells on it, but they're all uncapped.
Yeah.
So I thought I had 3 days. I was going to come back in 3 days and take that frame out and move it over to a 5-frame nuke along with some resources. But it looks like they decided to leave a little early, or I missed a capped queen cell somewhere else. But I went through every frame in there yesterday morning.
There were a lot of bees in the air.
Yeah, and they're way up there. So this is not an orientation flight. This is a swarm. I feel like I should go get a metal pan and a spoon and start tanging and see if it makes them come down. And now here's interesting. Look, they seem to be heading that way.
Oh my.
So maybe they're going for one of the other swarm traps here, because this one, this absolute calm over here at this swarm trap.
Oh yeah, nothing's going on there.
Except, you know, like they've moved
Couple
in
scouts.
and they're just doing their, well, no, it just may be activity at the entrance. They may have moved in yesterday.
Okay.
But we have a whole lot. Ah, here they go. Here we are, dear.
Where are they?
Look where they're moving in.
Oh my goodness.
Into the smallest cavity we have.
I'm gonna walk through this. Come over here, and this is where they're going.
Yep.
They have decided to go into the bucket swarm trap.
On the bright side, I'll just bring a box over here and I'll just dump them straight into the box instead of having to cut comb later on.
Well, you know, the people that say that you don't catch your own swarms in your own yard may have to rethink that theory,
yeah, because this swarm obviously
is
came
coming
out of
from our
one,
hive. Yes.
Came up, swung around the corner here, and is coming to the bucket that I put up 3 days ago,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. All the more reason to put up your swarm traps early.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty definite.
Yeah. Come over here and get this angle looking back through the avocado and towards the frangipani.
Yeah, there's a lot of bees
There's
in
just
the
a
air.
trail of bees from hive number 1 coming out, curving over, and dropping in over here.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm not sure how much of it gets caught on the camera. I mean, I can see it.
now here's the thing.
crazy.
That is where the scion was, and the idea of a scion was that the bees come, they land there, and you know the bees usually travel less than 90 feet to a bivouac position before they do their final transfer. And this may be what's going on. They may not actually be going in that bucket. They may just be bivouacking here. But regardless, in half an hour, when they've all congregated there, I'm putting them in a bucket, or I'm putting them in a box.
Well, yeah. Don't give them the opportunity to find someplace else to be.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well,
So wonderful. Look, you come down a little lower because now they're starting to drop down a little bit.
I
You
see
know,
that.
sweeping over here.
well, and there's just all the way up above the frangipani. There are a lot of bees in the air.
But darn 'em, I checked that hive yesterday, and like I said, there was one frame that has 7 queen cells on it. None of them are capped. And so I figured I'd go back in 3 days when they were capped, and I was going to remove that frame.
Well, you waited too long, I guess.
Yeah. Because now I don't need to do the split.
No, the bees have split themselves.
Yeah. So I'm going to go thaw out some comb.
Yeah.
And drop it into a box so they have something to start on. And we'll welcome we'll welcome cousins back into the hive, which is great because it was hive number 1 that I wanted to make my splits from this year.
Yep, and they did it for you.
And they did it for me.
Now, on the other hand, if there are still queen cells in hive number 1, you could always grab one of those and make some splits or put them into hive 3 or whatever.
Yep.
Because hive 3, even though we had a queen a couple of weeks ago, she doesn't seem to be doing too well.
I don't think she made it, and nothing else is happening there.
I don't think she made it well.
She made it, but not well.
Yeah.
It didn't last long.
Yeah. They're a very weak hive at this point. But this one isn't.
No, and very soon this one will be that one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I will take the 3 or 4 frames of bees that are still in number 3 and put them into a nuke with a couple of queen cells, and I will move this swarm into hive number 3.
Oh yeah, why not? Cool. And I guess we'll film you doing that at that point.
Probably, because I'm going to cut a couple of queen cells out of that frame and put them somewhere else. I still want to wait for them to get capped before I do it.
Well, take one last look at the swarm, and
We'll come back and take a look at it in about half an hour when
Sure.
they're all settled there and quiet.
Yep.
It's amazing how quickly you'll go from all this chaos to a completely settled situation.
It's already sounding less
Oh yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every
Stay
30
tuned.
seconds you can detect the lowering of the volume.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll
we're probably not much more than 5 minutes from the finish on this one.
We'll be back. And we're back. And there are very few bees going inside the bucket.
It's about 5 minutes later. They were about done.
Yeah.
You'll notice not a lot of bees are going inside. A few were going inside and checking it out, but I'm pretty sure this was just chosen as a bivouac location.
And you can see very few bees in the air anymore. So they have sort of settled.
Pretty empty.
And that's what they look like when they've settled.
Okay, you ready? Okay. I just wanted to show you guys something.
You have to speak louder. You don't have a mic on.
Okay, I just want to show you guys something. The other day, we talked about making a swarm trap out of the bucket, and that, smaller swarms might be attracted to it. I just wanted to make this point. This box right here was underneath that table on top of that brick, and bees came in through these little holes here. They chewed them out and made them slightly larger, and they built an entire colony in there. And in terms of volume, all this wood was in the bottom, so the volume of this hive was from here up, which isn't even 3 gallons. And there was a mature hive in there that probably would have swarmed if we hadn't gotten to it and put it in another box. But so if you think that small spaces, you'll notice that's not much falling around because it's all propolis together on the bottom there. So that's not a lot of space. And there was the comb from the hive that was in there. So yeah, I'll be out here in a few minutes as soon as I finish another errand. If you come over here, you can get the view of that entrance a lot better. And
I
you can
did.
see while bees are coming in and out, they're not quote unquote just going in. So I'm thinking this is just a bivouac position. They're not choosing to move into the bucket.
Okay.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's Rich and you're with Beekeeping, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. To recap what was said earlier.
You don't need to, it'll all be on the same video.
Yeah, but just to recap quick. I went through hive number 1 yesterday, found 7 queen cells on one frame. Frame number 7 as you're going left to right. They weren't capped yet. And I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm going to give them 3 more days to get capped. And then I'm going to pull that frame out and I'm going to cut some of those cells out and put them out some places and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Well, because I figured I'd have a grace period before the bees swarmed. But the bees didn't wait for the cells to get capped, apparently, because I checked them yesterday and here we are today. You know, we filmed the swarm leaving hive number 1, arching around over here and coming to land on the bucket. And there's really not many bees inside. They're mostly just hanging there, so I think they're just bivouacking. You know, they go up to 90 feet if they can, no further if they don't have to. Bivouac while they go around looking, which again has me all confused because I had all this scout activity at all 3 locations yesterday. And nothing has changed over here on Swarm Trap 1 under the cedar tree. The bees look like they've moved in there and are completely calm and completely disconnected from what's going on here. So I've got to go over a little later on, get up on the ladder, take a peek inside and see if a swarm moved in, a little tiny swarm moved in there. And we'll film that. But we're going to get back to this right now. So what I've done here is I have alternated some frames of brood comb with empty frames. I did put 1 frame with honeycomb on it in here to make things easier for them. And yeah, once they're in position over there on the end of the temporary hive stand, I will put a feeder on with some 1-to-1 sugar water on top too. So they'll pull this out real quick, and before you know it, we'll be putting a second deep underneath, or second medium underneath this one. Oh, but for purposes here today, you'll notice, as always, I use a PVC screened bottom board, and I use a slatted rack. But on top of the slatted rack today, I'm putting a queen excluder, or today it's a queen includer, because they're in bivouac mode at the moment and, you know, won't think twice about taking off somewhere else if they decide to. So that's how we're going to do it. So empty box on top of here to make it easier on me to dump the bees in. And we're going to bring things down and hopefully nothing... the only cover I'm using for the moment, dear, will just be this.
Okay.
I will carry the bees over there just with this on top of it. And then we will get something more permanent. Guess what I just saw?
What did you see?
Over there.
You gotta be more specific.
Well, yesterday I told you that it was driving me nuts. I could have sworn I heard a swarm in the trees.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a swarm right over there.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
So we have another swarm video to do.
Let's finish this one first.
Yeah, you think? Zoop. Instant swarm.
Do you think any bees are in the bucket?
We'll find out in a minute. Yeah, like I said, I was peeking up into the bucket through the entrance, and I wasn't really seeing much in the way of bees. Let's get this stuff out of here so I can shake these few bees out. I think I will just take this out of there and let them use this, because I want to see if the bees in there go running into the box. Yeah, I heard crashing or thrashing, which makes me wonder if a pack of bees didn't land outside the box over on the other side. So I'm going to go take a look at that. Yeah, there's almost, see, they're just randomly around in there. So I'll just put that down like that. They have a clear path to crawl up and in if they want to. So I want to see what's going on over here. Yeah, there's a small pile there. What do we have underneath here? Yeah, the little pile that's on the ground over here are starting to walk up the side of the container. So there's no queen in there. In the pile, yeah, she didn't miss the box. Oh my, come on, get back in there, you. I do love feathers. Let's see you do that with a bee brush. All right. All right. Damn it. There we go.
Tight there, huh?
Yeah. My keg isn't getting in the way.
Oh, there's a bunch on the outside. Look.
I will look in a second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. The queen pheromone is in the brick mostly. The queen pheromone is completely on the brick, which is right next to you. And there's really no action going on there. But yes, I was still smelling queen pheromone in the bucket.
Maybe you should leave the bucket away.
I will do that now that I've gotten most of them off. Yep. That is a full-size swarm over there. But I'm pretty sure it couldn't have come from my bees in this case. Oh yeah. See? They're going in and there's some Nesanoff fanning going on there. See them? The end of my feather? See the girls that are just sticking their butts in the air and fanning? So we can leave that alone for a little bit. That swarm capture is pretty much complete. I got to get out my big ladder for this one. Yep, more and more bees are sticking their butts in the air. The queen's in there and all's well with the world. We'll give them a little while. In the meantime, I'm going to go pull out my taller ladder, get my 5-gallon water jug and my little net, and get a nuke set up, and we will see about getting that other swarm. So we're going to shut this off for the moment. Nope, just go. All right. You know what? Before I do this, I'm gonna get on the shorter ladder and I'm gonna go look inside the box over there and see if a swarm has moved in, or whether those are still scout bees, because they could be scout bees from that. As I had mentioned to my wife that it was driving me nuts yesterday that I was hearing what I could swear was a swarm up in the trees, but I couldn't see one. And you know, where I was standing at that time, this was behind me, and I was looking all around over in there, but I wasn't looking behind me over this way. So I'm going to go check and see whether we have a swarm over here or whether we just have heavy scout activity. This is unstable. That's more stable. would you reach behind you and give me a hive tool? You can turn and look at the mailbox while you get it. Thank you, dear. Oh, good. I'm thinking from what I can see through the inner cover that we have a... Yeah, okay. They moved in. Well, I'm going to call this one Swarm 1, Cedar Tree Swarm. So I'll get them a feeder top and some sugar water. But not right this second. Boy, talking about going 0 to 80. Man. Da, 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 dum, dum, dum. That is a sizable swarm. Let me go prep a nuke over here. During COVID, when people weren't coming around to get my bee swarms that were being built up, in desperation, I had to start using a queen excluder because I was stacking nukes on top of each other to keep them from swarming. So I got a lot of honey production out of swarm nukes last year. Last year is really when I got a bunch of them. Okay, well, one thing I can't use that for is that. Okay. And in this case, it's a queen includer. I'm going to go get 3 frames of comb. Be right back. Okay, brood. Since they're primed for such things, I'll give them some grungy comb. Let them fix it all up. And you notice the difference in size there. Honeycomb versus brood comb. Look at that brood comb right there. And we'll put the honeycomb over here.
Your arrows need to go the same way, honey.
There we go. Oh, where did I put that? I probably left it up there. I probably left the hive tool up on top, so rather than climb up on the ladder right now, I'll just get another hive tool. If you're just a backyard beekeeper, best thing I ever came up with was using that mailbox. Okay. So I don't know if you're tracking these things or not, but in case anybody's wondering, I only put that railing on there a couple of days ago. Then I pulled out all my nukes, got them all organized and arranged on here, along with a couple of other size boxes, my 3-frame nukes, my regular nukes, and a full size down on the end where that swarm's going. That'll do for dumping in. This is the top. We'll get this out of the way. All right. So now when I get that out of there, we can start dumping in there. I did put one down there. There's the other one there. Okay. Let's check real quick and see how this is going. Oh yes, ladies. Oh yes. Tell it to the world. Tell it to the world. They're moving in, and their little butts are up in the air, fanning for all they're worth. The queen is here. The queen is here. Long live the queen. Well, I mean, they're on 2 forks of a tree. You're going to have to assume the queen's on the side that most of the bees are on. But this isn't going to be a nice, clean capture. But you know what? I can probably increase my odds if I go get a sheet and kind of spread it up in this area. Not on the ground, obviously, because we're on top of a kayak and a nursery. But if I can spread a sheet up there some, I might be able to catch 1,000 to 2,000 bees from the side a little quicker. And to be talking to you while I'm doing that, proper prior planning prevents poor performance. And of course, you can't plan when you don't know what you're planning for. But one thing that is planned for is that if I get a call from mosquito control that they're spraying tonight, my box of bee sheets is at hand and readily available. I don't have to give any extra thought to where I'm going to find a sheet to put in, or put over my bees. So, all right. I'm just assuming everything's an assumption. You know what they say, no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy. I'm assuming that all those bees there are going to fall down at the same time as I shake the other side. If they don't, well then fantastic. All right. Dear, would you hand me my container there? My plastics. Okay. My plastic skep. It do seem to have worked. Yep. I have several thousand bees sitting. Oh boy, well that wasn't so smart, was it? Excuse me. I put the cover on and then it just fell off. I'd say I've got more than a pound of bees in here.
But you're going to need your phone.
You think so? Okay. See how the bees in here aren't clustering in any particular place? They're not clumping up. Well, that's just because they're investigating the handle. I mean, look at there.
Yeah, she could be in the handle.
Yeah, it's possible. She could be, I guess. Uh-oh.
Where's the front?
Oh, well, the front's where I've laid this. I don't have anything blocking the front right at the moment. Okay, let's see how that swarm's doing. Okay.
Yeah. Got more.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's because they've been there more than 24 hours, which is probably the case, or whether the queen's still there. I don't know. I don't know. Ow. Hey, you didn't need to do that. I wasn't pinching you. I wasn't pinching you at all. Da, 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 da. Uh-huh. 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 All right. They're going down inside pretty good.
So you think the queen's in there?
I think the queen's in there. Not that I'm not going to try to get myself a few more bees here, because since they've probably been in this location for more than 24 hours, you know, they've orientated to it, and we're only 20 feet away. Unfortunately, I don't have an out bee yard I can take swarms to. Everything has to stay where it is. Anyone who thought my video on swarm trapping equipment was theoretical, it's not. This is the best, you know, having a grip there and shake them into it is just terrific.
Oh, there's still some bees in the air.
Well, they will be, dear, for another 5 minutes. Goodness. Let's see. See, my little box of bee sheets, and it says bee sheets on the front of it. Oh, this is picture perfect. I mean, to put it mildly, it doesn't get any better than this. I mean, everything is settled down. Even way up here, well, she's just kind of checking things out. But this one has her butt in the air. All these others with butts in the air. Checking when they're coming and checking they're going. Now, I'm going to go get the feather, sweep the relatively few bees that are in this top box down, then containerize them. Okay. Sorry, I took a moment to shake some more bees off of the cloth over there. I mean, look at this. There's almost no bees left up here. See? Just a few. We're just investigating the wonderful, wonderful smells of old bee equipment. There we go. In a moment. Let me see how the situation is over here. Yeah, pretty much nobody left. They all crawled up and around. So we're just going to leave them there for a little while. And then we will move them back over to the rail. The queen can't go anywhere because she's above the queen excluder. And I'll leave that on there for a few days. When I move them over there, they'll get a top feeder. They'll get some sugar water in it. And a water container in the front. I'll open one side of the queen or the robbing excluder thing there, and I think that we're good to go. Let's see if there's any drones around here. This hive yesterday, when I was in there inspecting, I was floored by the size of the drones. So, all right, Ulrich, you're probably right. The queen on this hive number 1 was not an African-derived bee, because if the drones only have her genetics, and I am not exaggerating when I'm saying the drones were this big, they're huge. Now, what she mated with and what kind of mutts her children were, I don't know. But I must have caught a good queen in a swarm, because her drones were just huge. And that implies that she has straight up, European genetics. Why are more of you guys, you're still waving, you're still fanning just fine. But more of you are trying to check to see what's going on. All right, well, we'll just let them relax. Let's get back over here and continue with this other one. What are we going to title this? Swarm captures. 2 at once?
3.
3 at once? Yeah, if you count that one over there. So that wasn't any work.
No, they're just keeping something.
And you can see Mazanoff going on here too. Not much. I'm going to crack this here to one end, and I'm going to make them a little top entrance there for a few minutes, since we're still actively working on this. And let's try putting the cover on again. That'll teach me a lesson. I intended on drilling 2 holes and putting this cover on so that it was permanently half on. From here to here, and I could just flip it over, or from here to here, and I could just flip it over from the top, but I hadn't gotten around to it yet. Which shows you prior proper planning prevents poor performance. I didn't follow through on my plan because I didn't know that swarm season was going to hit so wild and hairy all at once. Yeah, no, not that I didn't predict it when it was going to start. I just didn't expect it to start at my house quite so soon. This isn't exactly a thorny tree, Barbados cherry, but it does have lots on it, which makes it a bit scratchy. Kind of hard to tell. Eh, 300-400. Come on, guys, give me a clear shot somewhere. Well, I'll just put this here. Where can I find to step that on? It's all right. It's all right. I think we'll wind this video up at this point. It's kind of gotten way long because it wasn't planned this way. Well, we caught the swarm we intended on catching, and we caught this swarm just by proper prior planning. Wasn't even sure they had swarmed in there yet until I just went and took a peek, but yep, they're in there. So I'll be putting some frames of drawn comb in that one too, and I'll be putting sugar syrup on top of it. They'll get sugar syrup in their container on here in short order, and they'll get, well, that one will get moved over into this position as a single deep for a while. But given that I gave them 4 frames of comb, it won't be long before I put that into a double deep. Double medium, I should say. Sorry, not double deep, double medium. I use 2 mediums as my main brood chamber.
So you got 3.
I got 3 swarms between yesterday and today in my own backyard. One of them came from my hive. The other 2 came from somewhere else. What can I say?
What words of wisdom do you have to offer? Be prepared.
Take up boating. It's probably cheaper to keep on throwing money into the hole in the water surrounded by wood than it is to try to keep up with swarming bees. I don't know. Swarm catching is just so much fun. It is probably the single best part of beekeeping is swarm catching. So if you're not out there catching your own bees for free, get out there, make some swarm traps. There's 1,000 designs online. Don't let somebody's preconceived notion about the volume deter you. That 5-gallon bucket is in no way the appropriate volume, but they work just fine, particularly with our African-derived bees down here. They will settle for a smaller space, but they work so fast, they build combs so fast, they pack away that honey so fast that a swarm like this caught in February, I could easily make 60 pounds of honey off of any one of these 3 swarms this season. So we'll call that a wrap. Be sure to like and subscribe. This has been Rich with South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Everybody else, I can only wish that you have this great a Sunday. Take care, everybody.